Hello everyone and welcome back to Acei Games, where we are starting a vanilla series in City Skylines 2, and I am very not in the mood because I'm not the guy that plays vanilla in City Skylines 1 and it feels a little bit weird. But it's very intriguing because it's a new game, a lot of new game mechanics that, by the way, I had to study them. I had to play a lot of trial and error for me to feel comfortable to bring a new series. And now I feel that I have enough knowledge to start this new city of new market and call it the new one that's gonna be the first series of this channel about City Skylines 2. So we're gonna be learning a lot of stuff. I think that I don't know enough, but I think that I am ready for the challenge. So please support me by hitting that subscribe button. If you feel that you can share the video, you can share it. Give us your thoughts in the comment section when you finish watching the video, and yeah, keep on the series because we're gonna be doing amazing stuff here. All right, let's start this episode of this series talking a little bit of what has been the channel and some stuff that in the near future are gonna be changing. I don't used to plan my episode, at least in the narrative or the speech. I tend to improvise a lot. I just go and think what I am going to build. Let's say I'm gonna build a big chunk of metropolis, or I'm gonna build some certain group of buildings or some stuff of landmark, and I start building them. Then when I am editing the video, I just record some commentary and I place them in the episode, and then I fill the empty spaces with some cool music that I find in the internet. But here, by playing vanilla, stuff are very different. And the first thing is that the recording is very long. I have here 6 hours of gameplay in this episode alone, just because I wanted to achieve a certain milestone, and this take very long time here in City Skylines 2, because you are not just growing the community, the amount of citizens that you have. You are accumulating experience points, and at some point in the build, getting more experience points get a little bit hard, and then you start dealing up with some of the general issues like traffic in certain ways, or lack of, let's say, public transport, and lack of industries, lack of housing. I don't know. There's a lot of things that happen that you need to be dealing with. That's why you see me in the video running from one place to the other, doing some stuff. Sometimes I'm doing education. Sometimes I am building more houses. Sometimes I am building a little bit more of commercial. And you have to figure out the exact place where you want to place it, because the game shows you where is most needed, or where are the most suitable places for you to place housing, or place industrial, or place commercial. So you have to be doing a lot of stuff, not just because of the way that you play the game. It's almost because you're playing vanilla and you need to fulfill the need of the city. It's not like when you are playing modded that you just, okay, let's see, I want to place this stuff, and you place it, and you run with the troubles that maybe it could get, but you play with it. You have your building, your stuff running in the city. But here you need to unlock everything, and yeah, that's where some stuff get harder. But the cool stuff here, maybe it's cool for the gameplay, but I don't feel that is very, very cool, is that you never run out of money. You can see that I am always continuing building stuff because I've never run out of money. I don't know how it is supposed to happen, or if it's something that maybe they will change, maybe they will add a hard mode or stuff like that. But here I've never had to wait for the money to feel back. By the way, I have never been positive in making money here in this city. You can see it in the area where is the money. You can see the arrow that is pointing down and that is red, and if you pay attention, you would never see it green or pointing up. That says that I have never been making money. I have been wasting the money of the city. And I don't know why I don't run out of money. I know that it's because the city is playing subsidized, but this is nothing realistic at all. This is something that is just mainly made for the experience of the gameplay, that you can continue playing and never having to stop because you don't have enough money. When you were like learning how to play City Skylines 1, it was very easy to run out of money, and some people maybe found that a little bit boring because you had to tear down your city star one all over again because your previous city wasn't running the correct way. But here, that's not the problem. You can continue building the city even though that you maybe have traffic issues, even though that you have lack of production, high rent. This is a new one. The people will complain about high rent. But if you don't want to worry about that and continue building, you don't have to, because you will continue making money. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff of the game that I found fun and that I found interesting, and maybe stuff that you need to know in order for you to play the game, having a little bit of fun. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the game. Here you can see me placing these mines that in City Skylines 1 I would have to have the industrial DLC to be able to play this way. And even here things are very interesting because you can customize your thing by using this like district stuff that will turn up to be the mine or the farm or anything that you get, and this is very customizable. And the cool stuff about that is that all the buildings that you would have to place in CS1, like the I don't remember the name, but these excavators and other stuff will spawn automatically inside this area. So it would be very easy and very cool to play this game this way. And the industrial DLC is the one that I enjoy the most of the DLCs in City Skylines 1. So this is a good thing. The thing that you're gonna see me doing here in this part of the video is one that I would never be doing in CS1, because in CS1 when you zone an area and you demolish it, you would lose the whole amount of citizens that you had in this area, and it would be very hard for you to get them back. But here it was very easy to do it. I was very scared by tearing all this area down because I had to make a better way to move people from one side to the other. And I decided that maybe by using a highway connection through the whole city was the best idea. And let me tell you something. You should do this very early in the game, because things are gonna get very messy when the cities start growing with the traffic and all this stuff. So you should, at some point of the city, you should make yourself of a highway that can go across the city and can move people more efficiently, because you're gonna have a lot of traffic issues through the game if you don't do it. And one thing that I found was that using the highway in this way, I am making it so it would be elevated through the city, and I have to connect it through these ramps and stuff, and the normal roads will go under them to connect one part of the city with the other. This way you would get better results. So I highly recommend you to doing this, as I said, early on in the game, and it's gonna be very easy for you to manage it. One thing that I found very funny is that even though that you put a highway on top of the zoning, buildings will continue spawning, and this is something that you wouldn't see in City Skylines 1 vanilla. And I don't know until what point this is going to be realistic, because sometimes my highways here are not very high. You can see I just use 10 meters height for the highway, and some buildings continue spawning. 10 meters is like 3 levels. I say if every level is 3 meters, you can have 9 meters when you have 3 levels, and this wouldn't be suitable for a building under a highway. And yeah, I would like to try on later when I get higher buildings and maybe place them under the highways to see what happened. But here you can see that when I turn it on the game and I started playing with the highway, things were working very fine. I found some spots that needed some additional ramps and some ramps that were interrupting one with each other. I made those fixes and then I continue on. But as I said, it's very important for you to provide the citizens with the correct mobility through the city, so you should do this very early in the game. The capabilities of the roads in CS2 is so wide that you could see that I have these ramps with weird elevations, and some of them were very, very steep, and the game would still allow them to be there. So the road mechanics, the way that you could place them and stuff like that, were very improved here in CS2, and that's a very nice thing to see. City Skylines 2 has some game mechanics that work very fine, but some of them are very questionable, like the thing that you never run out of money. You can see that I don't mind to spend money by changing streets, building stuff, tearing out all the highways or streets and then placing them back. And that's something that I don't feel very realistic. We are not used to that from CS1, because you can remember that in CS1 you would be building a small part of the city and then waiting for all the people to come and live there, maybe zoning in weird places for you to get more citizens, and wait for the milestone to hit and then get the additional money from the milestone in order for you to be able to build a new part of the city. Well, here this is not the case. They call it like government subsidies, but I call it like working with infinitive money, because I have been playing the game and I haven't been, as I told you, making money at all. And I am able to play some of the regular buildings, because there are some big, huge buildings that they don't allow you to place if you don't have a ton of money. But you will never be able to say, I don't have enough money to build a road or to build a residential area or maybe to build a police station or a school. No, you always have money for that. Even though if you're trying to terraform, remember that in City Skylines 1 vanilla, terraforming was something very, very expensive, and you would run out of soil, or maybe you would have too much soil storage. So you have to be very careful with that in CS1. But here you don't have to think about that at any time. And I think that maybe this is a downgrade for the playability of the game or the logics of the game, because there are some things that you maybe have to pay attention when you are building a game. I don't know if they made that on purpose because they wanted us to play the game more and be always having fun with the game, because Sometimes it could be very frustrating when you were playing City Skylines and you run out of money, and maybe you would have to let the game on play for like 20 minutes in order for you to get enough money to build a new school or a police station and stuff like that. Or maybe just lose your city and start all over again because you're not making money at all and you cannot do anything about that. But here, as I said, it's not the case. You are always able to build some big infrastructure like what I am doing here with the highways. This wouldn't cost a ton of money in CS1, and you can see that I'm not afraid of having mistakes. You can see that when I having any mistake, I just tear it down and build it all over again. In CS1, the only way for you to do that it was if you were playing on pause. You can, when the game is on pause, you will receive a full cash back if you made any mistake and you decide to turn it down. But if you hit the play, if you hit play when you are building stuff, you will lose all the money that the building costed you. So here is, I don't know if we should call it an upgrade or a downgrade, but it's something that makes the game easier, but I don't know if it's easy on the correct way. I don't know. And you can see that I am building without paying any attention to if I am making or losing money. And yeah, that's something that I think sometimes that make you lose the general touch of the game, that is to create a city that is capable of maintaining itself, making money and stuff like that. I don't quite know if it's the right reality of building a real city in real life, but I think for me is a little downgrade from City Skylines 1. You should be able to lose money, you should be able to go to bankrupt, you should need some loans when you are building the city. That, by the way, you get the ability to ask for loans here, but I have never run into the need to ask for a loan because some of the buildings that cost a ton of money are just, let's call it like a luxury to have in your city. Even though that you see me buying these chunks of land for me to chase for some farmable areas and stuff like that, I never run out of money. Some of these chunk of lands that I bought cost me even hundreds of thousands of dollars, let's call it. And yeah, that's nothing that I should be worrying about because, as I said, I never run out of money. Now here we are at the point where I am viewing myself building a city functional and planning my city, and that's something that I haven't been doing right now. So I decided to buy these tiles next to the outside of the city to build the rail yard, and that's something very fun about City Skylines 2, that you can buy tiles that are not attached to the tiles that you already have, and this gives you a lot of flexibility when you are trying to place buildings like this, the rail yard, that are not supposed to be in the city center or inside the city, and you can just place them in the outside of the city and things will work normally. You don't have any issues with that, and that's what I have done here. I placed this next to the outside of the city. That's nothing that you should do it. This is just me trying to plan my future city. And the main goal here was to bring cargo through train to the city, because this could make the industries to be more efficient. So I started placing a cargo train terminal. And here's is a fun stuff about City Skylines 2. You can manage your routes through to the outside or to the inside of the city. You can, when you place the cargo train terminal, it's not gonna be like in CS1 that it will automatically start trading the stuff that are being made nearby to the cargo train terminal and sending it maybe to the inside of the city or maybe to the outside of the city. No, you have full control of where you ship stuff from City Skylines 2, because you can make routes, and that's a cool stuff to have. Here I am making one of the hardest stuff, but the things that looks more cool in City Skylines 2 that are these quays. This can be very decorative for your city, but you had to make this weird stuff because you don't get the ability to place them. You don't have like a quay road. No, you have to make like a huge differential of height in the land, and then you place the road and you would have these quays to appear. And that's something a little bit hard. That's maybe something that they will fix. And then I decided that since I had the rail yard, maybe I should be bringing people from the outside of the city to the inside via train too, because this can bring some relief to the outside connection that I have through roads. Maybe people can come through train. And this works the same way. You have to do your routes, connecting it to the outside connection. And this gives you a lot of flexibility. This is something very cool to have here in City Skylines 2. And then I saw this little sign of not enough trains. That means that you would need to to build another train yard. And yeah, that's something that will happen because I have a lot of need for trade, since I have a huge industry and a city that is a little bit big and people is wanting to move a lot. So later on, I'm gonna be building another rail yard. I'm not gonna be placing it where I really want it to be, but it will provide me with the correct access to more trains that I need, and everything was working very fine. Now I am trying to stop relying on the energy that comes from the outside, and I built my first power plant, but it wasn't enough to keep up with the needs of the city. So I had to connect to the outside once again, and let's wait until I have better power plants and better places to place them, because I don't have any issue with the money. I just want to have my city looking very cool, and yeah, I'm gonna place them later in the episode. Alright guys, been very fun and very hard at the same time to be doing this episode without the correct planning, the correct editing, and the correct script. Just trying to improvise and do the stuff as I go on the go. And yeah, I'm gonna try to fix that for the near future. Maybe I'm gonna have to have more time to make this speech, but trust me, it's not the easiest thing to do. So here you're gonna see me starting the expansion, where I'm going to be building the new city center that is gonna be more planned with the highway, as I told you, in the middle, and I'm gonna continue building on to that area. And here I start building a very ugly interchange that will bring a ton of vehicles to the city and will bring their own problems. But I don't plan to have this interchange at least to look like this, but I'm gonna be doing a much beautiful one in the near future. But right now I don't have enough tiles to buy more space here, so things are gonna be like what it is. Now, after I connected this to the outside of the city, I wanted to bring the correct amount of movement, at least planning into the future when I start building this city. And things were very fast because everything was starting to work right when I connected the city with that. And all type of vehicles, cargo and normal vehicle, were spawning here, trying to go out of the city or trying to get into the city. And this started to be a very important connection to the outside. So I decided that maybe I could start a housing project nearby this area. And then we had too much traffic coming to the city from this connection. So I had to turn this into a highway. And as I told you in the other highway that I did, this is a very nice move to make, to build these highway connections. This will relieve a lot of the traffic and things will flow very nicely. You would see when you do it that it's something that you don't have to hesitate to do, like maybe what we used to do in City Skylines 1. We don't want it to tear down big parts of the city in order for us to have these big highways. But here in City Skylines 2, this is the best way to do it. When you have this chunk of traffic causing problems, you just had to turn things to be a highway connection, and things are gonna be working very fine. So here in the final part of the episode, when I was building the new downtown, I spotted some random stuff like this car that I don't know how it came through here. It says that it's in a car accident. Maybe the road was a little bit slippery and it came from the highway. But you can see how dangerous things are here. And now you can see how bad things are in City Skylines 2 when it's about traffic. You can see this line of cars and this line of people. People won't cross when you have a car in the middle of the street. People will accumulate like what's happening in here. And my solution was just to upgrade the street and see how things could change. That was something that I did randomly. I didn't have any idea that this was going to work. And you can see that everybody is moving right on after I did that change. That wasn't needed. It wasn't something that was needed here. I just made that change, and the motorcycle that you can see that I have it clicked on started moving, and everybody was starting to move. Every pedestrian was moving to their workplaces, and traffic was moving once again. But you can see the amount of traffic that these two small things, let's call it like that, caused just because I wasn't watching. And this was something very random. That wasn't anything that had to make a big of a mess here. But I just wanted to show you these small curiosities that tend to happen in City Skylines 2. I don't know if it's an error, is a glitch, or what happens here, but there certainly has to be something fixed. So we got to the final part of the episode, and finally I have been talking like for 30 minutes, I think. And I hope that you don't get boring about me just talking here. I just hope that you find this episode informative, fun, and yeah, something that you can come back and watch and give me your thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff that help me get to more people. And as always, I tell you that I am going to try to upload City Skylines content at least weekly, so please be here because this is gonna be very fun in the near future. So this is gonna be it by now. See you in the next episode. Take care and bye bye.